Africa, a continent of incredible diversity. Over 1.3 billion people live here, each with their own unique religious beliefs. But what are those beliefs, and how do they shape the lives of Africans today? In this video, we'll explore the religions of Africa, their positive impacts, their challenges, and some lesser-known aspects. From vibrant faith communities to religious conflicts, what role does religion play in shaping the future of this vast continent? Africa is home to a striking range of religious beliefs, from traditional African religions to Christianity and Islam. Each region has its own distinct practices. Let's dive into the most prevalent faiths across the continent. Approximately 60% of Africa's population is Christian, with sub-Saharan Africa being the epicenter. Islam is the second largest religion, practiced by around 30% of the population, especially in the northern regions and along the Sahel. Meanwhile, traditional African religions still influence about 10% of the continent's people, preserving centuries-old practices tied to culture and identity. Christianity is one of the dominant religions in Africa, deeply rooted in the continent since colonial times when European missionaries introduced it. Today, Christianity is widely practiced, especially in countries like Nigeria, Ethiopia, and South Africa. Christian communities in Africa are among the largest and most dynamic in the world, with over 600 million followers. Worship is often exuberant, featuring gospel music, lively services, and a strong sense of community. But it's not all positive. Christian missionary efforts have sometimes led to the suppression of indigenous beliefs, causing cultural displacement and tension. Religious conflicts also persist. In some African nations, tensions between Christian and Muslim communities, as well as between different Christian denominations, have led to violence. The impact of colonial-era religious imposition continues to affect cultural identities to this day. Islam is the second largest religion in Africa, with around 500 million Muslims across the continent. The faith spread across Africa through trade routes and conquest, particularly in the Maghreb and Sahel regions. Muslims in Africa primarily follow Sunni Islam, with a growing presence of Shiite communities in some areas. Countries like Egypt, Algeria, Nigeria, and Somalia have significant Muslim populations, and Islam has shaped the political, social, and cultural landscapes of these nations. However, Islam in Africa has also faced challenges. Islamic extremism has been a major issue in regions like Nigeria, where groups like Boko Haram have caused destruction in the name of radical ideology. Al-Shabaab in Somalia has similarly destabilized the region. These extremist factions have tarnished the image of Islam, causing both internal and international tensions. While Christianity and Islam dominate much of Africa today, traditional African religions continue to thrive, especially in rural areas. Around 10% of Africans still follow their ancestral spiritual practices. Traditional African religions are deeply rooted in animism and polytheism, with a strong reverence for nature and ancestors. Shamans, priests, and spiritual leaders guide rituals, often linked to community life, healing, and ancestral worship. These religions emphasize the interconnectedness of the spiritual and natural worlds. Unfortunately, these traditions have been threatened over time by the rise of Christianity and Islam, which led to a decline in the number of people practicing traditional faiths. However, these ancient beliefs remain a powerful part of Africa's spiritual heritage, with many people blending aspects of traditional faiths with their Christian or Muslim practices, a phenomenon known as syncretism. Religious diversity in Africa isn't without its challenges. Religious conflicts are a reality in many parts of the continent, and these disputes often lead to violence. In countries like Nigeria, Sudan, and Egypt, Christian-Muslim tensions have resulted in deadly clashes and terrorism. Groups like Boko Haram in Nigeria and Al-Shabaab in Somalia have violently imposed their own radical interpretations of faith, devastating local communities. These extremist groups not only cause physical harm but also distort the message of Islam for their own political gain. Additionally, the decline of indigenous religions in favor of Christianity and Islam has led to the loss of cultural practices as people abandon ancient rituals and beliefs. This creates a generational disconnect, particularly among younger Africans who may no longer connect with their spiritual roots. Despite these challenges, religion in Africa also has a profoundly positive impact. The interfaith cooperation found in countries like Ghana and South Africa is a model of religious tolerance. Christians, Muslims, and followers of traditional religions often live side by side in peace, sharing common values of respect, love, and unity. Religious communities in Africa play a crucial role in social development. Churches and mosques often provide essential services from education and healthcare to humanitarian aid. For example, African churches and mosques have been instrumental in fighting HIV/AIDS, malaria, and poverty. Many also run schools and clinics that reach underserved populations. Religious festivals like Christmas and Eid bring people together, fostering a sense of community and belonging. These celebrations are more than just religious. They are times for family, charity, and social solidarity. Religion in Africa is as diverse as the continent itself, with each belief system offering unique insights into the challenges and triumphs of its people. What do you think? How does religion shape the future of Africa, and what role does it play in its social and political landscape? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Which aspect of African religion fascinates you the most? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to stay up to date with more insightful videos. We'd love to hear from you.